Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1728B, and today's date is November 29th, 2018, and the title of the episode is, We Know, Locked and Loaded, All in Place, Picture Worth Many Sentences. Now, before I get started, we all know the deep state, they're going to be fighting back, but we don't know exactly the next move of the deep state. And I just want to say one of the best devices you can invest for your home protection is a flashlight, the Patriot flashlight. Why is it the best? Never waste money on batteries again. It's solar powered. Life-saving emergency strobe light, emergency siren. Let others know you're in danger. Charge your phone anywhere. It has a compass, rope, wire cutter, and glass breaking hammer. Patriot flashlight is the perfect holiday gift for you and your family. Take advantage and give the gift of protection to your loved ones this holiday season. Use the code X25 and receive 25% off the Patriot flashlight. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, those players in the deep state, they are panicking like there's no tomorrow. And we can see the deep state, they're trying to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Trump. And what we see happening right now is they're doing everything they possibly can to try to shine the light on Trump, to make everyone believe that Mueller has something. Now, Michael Cohen, he pled guilty for lying to Congress. The false statements were regarding Moscow project, and when the communication of the deal that never happened ended, Cohen claimed they ended in January 5th, 2015. They ended approximately June of 2016. So, former Harvard law professor Dershowitz is saying that Cohen's guilty plea is an example of Mueller creating crimes. Now, this has nothing to do with Russian collusion. This has to do with a business deal. And this is about this attorney lying about dates. I mean, think about what they're putting out in the mainstream media. I mean, think about this for a second. So he lied about dates to Mueller. Is there Russian collusion? No. Well, didn't Brennan lie? Didn't Clapper lie? Didn't Orr lie? All to Congress? How come Mueller is not indicting those individuals? It's very interesting. Not doing a thing. We see that there are certain individuals in the Senate, in the House, and these individuals will be exiting. But before they exit, they're looking to try to stop or pause or do whatever they possibly can to disrupt whatever is happening. For example, Flake. Senator Flake, and this is Senator Jeff Flake, he decided that he's going to block more than 20 judicial nominees, forcing the Senate Judiciary Committee to abandon 6 federal circuit court nominees and 15 federal district court nominees. So Senator Chuck Grassley, that he announced that he is going to be canceling votes on nearly 24 of President Trump's judicial nominees that were expected to come up in the Judiciary Committee this week. Now, is this permanent? No. Flake, as he's leaving, he decided he was going to push his agenda. This is just temporary, and they're going to have to reschedule this meeting. Like I said, they're trying to do whatever they possibly can to stop or pause what is really coming. Even the Mueller protection bill, that didn't pass in the Senate. And we had Senator Cory Booker, Chris Coons, Jeff Flake. They were all pushing this, we need to protect Mueller. And guess what? It didn't pass. So that didn't work. So Flake, being pissed off and angry, decided to shoot down these judges. Now, this is just temporary, and they'll reschedule this meeting. But he's trying to postpone everything that is coming, and we know what's coming. That is the D-class. That is the truth. That is justice under the law. So the outgoing Senate is trying their best to stop or pause everything, but it won't work. Now, Trump is out there, and he's continuing with his attacks on Mueller. He tweeted out the following. When will this illegal Joseph McCarthy-style witch hunt, one that has shattered so many innocent lives, ever end, or will it just go on forever? After wasting more than $40 million, is that possible? It has proven only one thing: there was no collusion with Russia. So ridiculous. He went on to say, did you ever see an investigation more in search of a crime? At the same time, Mueller and the angry Democrats aren't even looking at the atrocious and perhaps subversive crimes that were committed by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. A total disgrace. Now, if you notice, Trump is continually dropping breadcrumbs, leading the public in to say, what is he talking about? And he wants the mainstream media to pick up his tweets. They could joke about it. Makes no difference, because people hear it and it goes into the subconscious. This is exactly what he wants. Now, Comey was out there, and he's saying that he wants complete transparency. And we talked about Gowdy and how Gowdy just shot him down and said, listen, you want transparency? Forget about a public hearing. Why don't we videotape you behind closed doors, take out the classified stuff, and this way we can ask as many questions as possible. We don't have a 5-minute term limit, and we can discuss classified information and get the real answers. Now, we know that Comey doesn't want this. We know that he wants it in a public setting, because in a public setting, they're not going to ask him classified information. They're going to just get rid of those questions. So Bob Goodlatte did something very interesting. This is what he tweeted out. I've just offered to Director Comey that the committees will publicly release the transcript of his testimony following the interview for our investigation. This ensures both transparency and access for the American people to all the facts. Looks like Goodlatte is following what Gowdy said. He went on to say, Mr. Comey should agree to these terms and see that we have the same purpose, which is to find the truth and seek transparency. In order to do so, he must appear before the committees and answer our questions. Now, this is going to be a problem for Comey. And of course, he's going to try to weasel his way out of this, saying that there's going to be leaks. If I do it behind closed doors, someone might get a hold of the tape and the classified information. He's going to try to make as many excuses as possible, because he doesn't really want to testify behind closed doors where they can ask him the real questions. But it looks like Gowdy, Goodlatte, they kind of cornered him here, because he's getting his transparency and he'll be able to answer all the classified questions. Well, that's the part he doesn't want. But again, he's cornered now, but he's going to try to weasel his way out of it. We see Adam Schiff. He is projecting fear like there's no tomorrow, just like Brennan. So he tweeted out the following. What Trump says, if Democrats play tough, I will declassify devastating documents. Schiff went on to say, what he means, if Democrats do legitimate oversight, I will burn sources and allies by selectively declassifying info so my legal team can misrepresent it to the public. Why? He's doing it. Fear. That's what Schiff said. So Schiff is out there, and think mirror. He's not going to declassify selective information. He's going to declassify it all. It's the Moab, the mother of all bombs. Remember, these individuals are projecting out there what they fear the most. And when Schiff says why he's doing it, fear? No, what Schiff is saying, he's afraid that he's going to do it, because he knows what's in there. And he's not going to selectively pick and choose. It's going to be boom, which means everything. And Adam Schiff is afraid of this. We need to go back to post 325. This was back December 10th, 2017. Q said Adam Schiff is a traitor to our country. Leaker, national security, evil, TikTok. Hope the 7.8 million was worth it. Enjoy the show. Q. So already Q and Team Trump, They already know about Schiff. Remember when Trump tweeted out the following? "So funny to see little Adam shit." He replaced the F's with T's, talking about the fact that Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker was not approved by the Senate, but not mentioning the fact that Bob Mueller, who is highly conflicted, was not approved by the Senate. And everyone was saying that the TT was TikTok. And if you go back to post 325, TikTok, and Schiff is projecting fear. He's afraid. So let's look at Robert Mueller for a second. Robert Mueller was deliberately selected to lead the FBI during the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. It was by purposeful design that his tenure as FBI director began on September 4th, 2001, just 7 days before the 9/11 false flag terror operation, and that he remained in that job for 12 corrupt years until September 4th, 2013, to ensure that the FBI would never professionally investigate the greatest crime and act of terrorism ever perpetrated on U.S. soil. So what other crimes against the U.S. is Mueller closely associated with? Well, Attorney Jeffrey Marty, who at AmericanLookout.com compiled a long list of scandals casting shadows over Mueller. The first one, some $12 billion in $100 bills was dispatched to the Iraq war theater and vanished. The IRS deliberately targeted Christian and conservative organizations to cause them trouble. Now remember, Mueller's behind all these things, or involved. Fast and Furious saw the government traffic guns into the hands of Mexican cartel criminals. The Department of Justice spied on AP reporters. Bill Clinton and the Clinton Foundation got millions for speeches while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Hillary Clinton dealt to Russia control of 20% of the uranium capacity inside the U.S. Of course, there was Hillary Clinton's private email server and all the government records, including classified, that ended up there. The HSBC money laundering scandal. So Mueller has been a part of many, many scandals here. So let's look at post 2397, because Q has been telling us why Mueller is there. It's not to investigate Russian collusion. So in this post of 2397, this was November 3rd, 2018, Mueller designed to take in evidence needed to expose deep state. Department of Justice block, R.E. Mueller, evidence ongoing investigation. Mueller designed to limit POTUS ability to maneuver. Mueller designed to stall for time until midterm elections to terminate all House Senate ongoing investigations. Mueller designed to safeguard D-Party base, false narrative, R.E. Russia collusion. POTUS cheated, evil, sky is falling, in an effort to divide and mobilize the future protests, riots, threats, violence, false flags, etc. Mueller designed to provide fake news with ammunition to sway public opinion, obstruct foreign and domestic agenda, fuel impeachment removal, fuel anti-POTUS division, prevent unity. Mueller designed as public outcry excuse should criminal charges be brought against them. We are being politically attacked because of Mueller. So as we can see, Mueller is there for a specific reason. It's not Russian collusion. He's working for the deep state to protect everything the deep state has done. This is why he hasn't found anything. This is why he's not leaving. And this is why they're trying to push this Mueller protection bill, which didn't get passed. Because they know Mueller's days are numbered. Because Acting Attorney General Whitaker is now in control. This is what they're afraid of. So yesterday we talked about how Trump signaled all patriots and retweeted a picture of individuals behind bars. It was Eric Holder, Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Rod Rosenstein, Robert Mueller, James Clapper, Uma Abedin, Rosenstein, you name it, they were all there. And this was from a fan page called The Trump Train, and he retweeted it on his Twitter account. And the deep state flipped out about this. And they're very nervous and afraid because they know that this Moab, the mother of all bombs, is coming very soon. Trump is continually putting it out on his Twitter account, letting everyone know that it's coming. Now, the deep state, they're doing everything they possibly can to convince the public to only listen to the establishment, to the deep state, to the mainstream media. Joe M. tweeted out the following: Deep State Guardian begging us not to turn on the elites, talking about today's post-truth world where people have been made to distrust the benign and deserving rich folk who just want what's best for the hardworking souls who carry their luggage. So Joe M. is talking about this article in The Guardian. And the article title is Why We Stop Trusting the Elites. And this is the first part of the article. For hundreds of years, modern societies have depended on something that is so ubiquitous, so ordinary, that we scarcely ever stop to notice it: trust. The fact that millions of people are able to believe the same things about reality is a remarkable achievement, but one that is more fragile than is often recognized. At times when public institutions, including the media, government departments, and professions, command widespread trust, we rarely question how they achieve this. And yet, at the heart of successful liberal democracies lies a remarkable collective leap of faith that when public officials, reporters, experts, and politicians share a piece of information, they are presumed to be doing so in an honest fashion. The notion that the public figures and professionals are basically trustworthy has been integral in the health of representative democracies. And after all, the very core of liberal democracy is the idea that a small group of people, politicians, can represent millions of others. If this system is to work, there must be a basic modicum of trust that the small group will act on behalf of the much larger one, at least some of the time. This isn't just about politics, in fact. Much of what we believe to be true about the world is actually taken on trust via newspapers, experts, officials, and broadcasters. While each of us sometimes witnesses events with our own eyes, there are plenty of apparently reasonable truths that we all accept without seeing. In order to believe that the economy has grown by 1%, or to find out about the latest medical advances, we take various things on trust. We don't automatically doubt the moral character of the researchers or reporters involved. So basically what they're saying is, don't do any research, don't question, but you must trust what they're saying for this system to work. No, for this system to work, you question everything. You research everything. And you make sure that these individuals are doing what they say. That's how a system really works, because we, the people, decide if we're going to allow these people to continue in government. We, the people, just don't trust those in government. Just don't trust the mainstream media. Just don't trust the intelligence organizations. They have to prove time and time again that what they're telling us is true. Because we should never just accept what they're telling us. But you could see they're trying to make the case of you must accept because it's built on trust. No, I'm sorry, it isn't. It's based on you need to show us the facts and prove it each and every time. And we will check for ourselves to make sure that there are checks and balances. Now, let's move on to WikiLeaks, because we can see that story in The Guardian. You know, we're supposed to just trust it. Well, it's falling apart very, very quickly. First of all, the passport stamps, they don't match up. And we also have another problem with the visitor logs in the Ecuadorian government. Because, remember, WikiLeaks doesn't keep the visitor logs. The government keeps the visitor logs. And the Ecuadorian Security Service, they have no logs of Manafort coming in and meeting with Assange. The entire Guardian story is falling apart. Now the question is, who decided to run this? Who has the most to lose from all of this? Remember, WikiLeaks, Assange has been dumping a lot. Clinton's emails, Vault 7, and so on. So the intelligence organizations, Clinton's, and the rest. And it looks like they were pushing an agenda here. Now, Trump decided that he was going to cancel the G20 meeting. He tweeted out the following. Based on the fact that the ships and sailors have not been returned to Ukraine from Russia, I've decided it would be best for all parties concerned to cancel my previous scheduled meeting in Argentina with President Putin. I look forward to a meaningful summit again as soon as the situation is resolved. Now, even though he's tweeting this out, he might still attend, because we saw him do this with North Korea. Now, once again, he's playing with the deep state. He's playing with the mainstream media. And we'll have to see where he goes with this. But a lot of times he uses this reverse psychology where he says he's not doing something and then actually ends up and doing it. Just like with North Korea, well, maybe we'll cancel the summit. I think we will. I think we're going to cancel it. And all of a sudden, the summit was back on and it was moved to a different date. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Now, we know that the deep state has been trying to push a war with Russia. This is why Poroshenko was taking the instructions from the Western Intelligence Organization, and they were pushing their agenda, and it backfired. And we know that Poroshenko, he implemented martial law in his country. Russia now is bringing in the S-400 to Crimea. Poroshenko has urged NATO to send more ships to the Sea of Azov, but the U.S.-led alliance has shown no interest in forcing its way into waters under Russian control. So nobody's coming. This was a failed attempt. It didn't work. Let's move on to Q's post. Q put up 2 posts today, and the first one is 2503, and it's a picture of a lobby with elevators and lamps and a Christmas tree, and there's reflections all over the place. And people were wondering what this was. Now, Q under it said 6X-382-NTP0038-3U2. Well, this is some type of code. Don't know exactly what it is as of yet. And under this, it says, we know Q. Now, Anons, they were searching and searching. I was searching today, too, to find out what this was. And Anon came up and said, I found it. Showed a picture. There's no Christmas tree in it, but it's exactly the same exact hallway with the elevator banks, with the lamps and everything else, the same floor and all that other stuff. And it is the Hyatt Regency in Chongqing, China. So right now, Q is saying we know, and there's this code there. Who is Q talking to? Well, I don't believe Q is talking to the Anons. I think Q is talking to the deep state in this post. Now, what's very interesting about this is that Hyatt, Regency, and Chongqing, if you take the first letter of each one of these words, it's H-R-C. Hillary Rodham Clinton. Was this a message to Clinton, who was in China, in this hotel? Because as we know, she was selling secrets to the Chinese. Was this a message to her? Maybe. Let's move on to post 2504. Q says the following. A picture is worth many sentences. I believe Q is referring to the meme that Trump posted on his Twitter account, where it showed Clinton, Holder, Loretta Lynch, Rosenstein, and the rest behind bars. So think about what this sentence really says. A picture is worth many sentences, prison sentences. Q continues. Has POTUS ever made a statement that hasn't been proven to be correct? Future. So if we go back to that meme, these individuals are all going to be behind bars. Think timing. Think Senate lock. Think Supreme Court lock. Locked And who is loaded? Q. It is all loaded. Whitaker is loaded. Kavanaugh is loaded. Everything is ready. Everything is in place. Now, an anon has been noticing that there seems to be a countdown going down in Q's posts. So Q dropped a post on November 20th. Then on November 25th, which is 5 days. Then on November 29th, which is 4 days. So this anon is saying there should be a post on December 2nd, which would mark 3 days. Then December 4th, 2 days, and then 1 day on December 5th, which is D-Day. And Q has been telling us about December 5th. We know that Clinton is going to testify under oath. So, is this a Q countdown? It's starting to look that way. Everything is coming together, and Q is telling us everything is locked. Everything is loaded. It's all about timing. And Q has said, has POTUS ever made a statement that hasn't been proven to be correct? Future. Letting us know from that picture, that meme of all those people behind bars, that is the future. That will come true. Because there's going to be many sentences, prison sentences. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.